Okay, so let's get started with the assembly of a BNC Coax connector. These are the three parts that make up the Coax connector. This is the center conductor pin, the casing or the ground area. The pin inserts into that side there from the back, and then this is just the sleeve that gets crimped onto the back of this to complete the connection to the ground or the outer conductor of the coax. I'm just going to get in a little bit closer now, get the coax stripped out and show you guys how that's done. Before we go ahead and do that, I just wanted to show you guys your standard RG58 coax, and quite a versatile and useful tool for this sort of work is, well, it's actually a necessity, is the Coax crimping tool, which is used for crimping that little bezel onto the connector itself. Right, back onto track now. Let's show you guys what it's all about. Okay, now in order to crimp these coax connectors, you need the Coax crimping tool, your connector, your RG58 coax or whichever coax you're crimping. If you have a look at the crimping tool itself, you've got various sizes available for different diameter coax cables and connectors. The way these work is they are spring loaded, so once you start crimping, if you get tired you can take a break and then carry on till the crimp is complete, release. Pretty much the same as any crimping tool, just that this is designed specifically for these connectors. I'm just going to strip back this coax now. The best thing to use for stripping back coax is your good old Stanley knife or hobby knife or something along those lines. Let's just take this out a little bit more. What we're going to do is we're going to look to strip back roughly about probably just under an inch of the outer insulation on your coax. This does take a bit of practice your first few times, but you do eventually get the hang of it when you've been doing it for quite some time. Like so. Okay, so now what we've done is we're actually opened up the outer shield conductor of the coax. Then what we want to do is just loosen this up a little bit and get it back and out of the way so we can see the center insulator and conductor inside it. Like so. There you have your center conductor. Now what technically happens is this gets pushed through with the small little connector on the end, or this little pin I should say on the end over here. So judging from this, if we have a look, we should have more than enough to get through there. Then what we need to do is strip back some of this insulation on your center conductor, probably just under a centimeter's worth. Like so. And you can grab your side cutters or whatever you want to use and get the center conductor out. Now you can see your outer shield as well as your center conductor. If you have a look at your little center pin, you can see we only have probably around a few millimeters that it goes into the pin, so we need to get rid of most of this over here. Let's cut that back. So it's a lot smaller than what it was. Just to check, we can slide our center pin on, and as you can see that would actually make up the connector. So now what we need to do is solder the center pin onto the center conductor of the coax. Okay, so what we do now is we bring in a little helping hand, place our center conductor into that. Now some of these pins have actually got a small little breather hole or soldering hole, some don't, but basically you want to get that in there. We can apply a small amount of solder to this connector. Like so. And then while that solder is still nice and liquefied, I'm just trying to keep it so you guys can see what's going on. We basically insert our center conductor like so. And like I say, all of this does take a little bit of practice. It's not one of those things you get right the first time. And there you have your center pin soldered on. Quite nice neat joint over there. I hope you guys can see that okay. There we go. Right, so we've got that done. Now we can just check if there's any sort of edges or anything like that of solder that have formed on there, which everything is looking pretty tidy. Okay, so now you can pull the grounding back over here. You could have put this on before or after, it doesn't really matter. Pull that back. Now, judging from this, you need to only have a small amount of this screening cable, so we need to get rid of some of this. Trim it off over here. Okay. So there we have our connector ready to be formed and crimped. Okay, so that's all been done. We just need to pull this all back to make sure we don't have any ground conductors that are going to interfere and contact onto the center conductor or the live conductor. We push that in until we get a good click in there. Then you can pull the shielding over here like so. Bring our crimp connector onto that, just like that. Any funny pieces sticking out or whatever you can clean up like so. Okay, so basically we've got our connection made there. That is over that. Then we basically bring in our crimping tool, make a selection on the size, and when you're ready, crimp. Just like that. And there you have your crimped connector. Perfectly intact, ready to be used. Right, so once your connector is all neatly crimped on there, you can put some heat shrink on here if you want to, whatever the case may be. Then I suggest you take your multimeter on your continuity test mode. So you have your continuity test mode. We'll check the ground to center, there's no short circuits. Ground to ground on the connector itself, we've got good contact. Check our center conductor to ground, nothing. Center conductor to center conductor, we've got good conductivity, so that connector's done well. So yeah, that's simply how you do your crimping of your BNC type, crimp type connectors. You do get solderable types, but they are a lot more tricky to work with. These are a lot faster, quicker, and when you're out in the field and such, it makes your life a whole lot easier.